Just checking, am I live? I think I'm live, so if you can see or hear me, just put a comment so I know that you can. I'm live. It looks live on my computer. Oh, thank you. Good. I'm live. That's good. Thank you. That's reassuring. What's the time? I'll just give it a couple of minutes and then I'll give it a minute and then I'll start in a minute. Just loosen up while we wait. Oh, it's nice to see you, Mandy. All the way from Cornwall. I wonder if it's as cold as it is in Leicester at the moment. It's a little bit cold here. Okay, let's check the time. Okay, we've got people on. Okay, let's start. Thank you again for Martin Sensei for inviting me. This is my second time at Karate at Home. So thanks for inviting me back again. For those who have not been to my first session, I'm trained mainly with Sensei Rick Jackson at the Leicester Fudodachi Karate Club under the umbrella HDKI. And so my session today is inspired by his teaching. So I'd like to offer my thanks to Sensei Rick Jackson. So Leicester Fudodachi Karate Club. So the word Fudodachi, the Fudodachi is a training system that is founded by Sensei Rick Jackson in a hotel room many years ago, and it's a training system designed for self-practice in a small space, so perfect for our situation at the moment. So within the Fudodachi system that we practice at Leicester, the Sensei Rick has devised quite a few katas, each for its own, has its own purpose. So today we will look at three of them, three types. So one is Dachi kata, looking at our dachi, our stances. The second that we'll look at today is our kicking kata, focusing on our kicks. And then the last thing that we'll do today is we'll amalgamate the two into a tenor kata. So it's like a pyramid today. So our dachi kata and a kicking kata as our foundation. When we practice that, we then do our tenor kata at the end. So let's start. I always like to start my sessions with a Caesar. So it brings our body and our mind to our dojo space and to our karate spirit. Okay, gather your minds. Caesar. Left knee, right knee. Tidy your belt, back straight. Just gather your mind into your training space. So the first bow we do is dojo, and it's bowing to our dojo space that we're using today. Dojo, you ready? Second bow is to our senseis, to all our teachers before us. Sensei, you ready? Crits, stand up. Us. And just relax, warm up, loosen your legs. Hips, reverse, the other way. So we start from our head, forward and back. Side to side. Left and right. Circle. Reverse. Okay. Arms back. Forward, front and back. Arms up. Let's put the camera up a bit so you can actually see my hand. Okay. I hope you can all see me okay. I don't have that Zoom video feedback to see if you all can see me. Arms up. Grab your right wrist down to your left. Up, grab your left wrist down to your right. Forward. And back. Waist. The other way. Loosen your legs. Turn to your left, front stance. Try to push your knee, bend your knee more. Keep your front leg the same. Turn your hips into hanmei. Front stance. Hanmei. Front stance, hanmei, front, lengthen your stance, right hand on the floor and just twist right shoulder to left foot. Bring your left leg across and just lean forward. And push up to the ceiling, stretch your lower back. And up again. Turn to your right, front stance. Hanmei. Front. Hanmei. Front. Lengthen your stance. Left hand flat on the floor, twist, aim your left shoulder to your right foot. And bring your right leg across, forward. And look up. And come back up again. Cutter. Then Shikodachi. Push both knees out. Straighten your knees forward. To your left. To your right. Forward. Widen your stance. Forward. To your left. To your right. And sit back. Sit back, leaning forward. To your left foot. To your right foot. And bend your knees, feet together, forward. And up. And grab both your feet, lean, stretch your lower back. And if you can, lean backwards. And up. Come up. And stretch down. Okay. Loosen your knee, loosen your legs. So the first thing we're going to do is Dachi Kata. So start at Kivadachi. Kivadachi. Right hand on your hikite, left hand forward. So with Kivadachi, make sure your width is 2 hip width apart. Your feet is facing forward. Make sure your back is straight. So I'm going to turn to the side so you can see me from the side. Make sure your back side is tucked in. Your back is straight. So be careful. Some people do Kivadachi. This is too bent or too arched. So it's make sure if you draw a line from the top of your head to your spine, it is straight. So I'm going to face forward, 2 hip width apart, feet parallel. Prepare right hikite and left hand forward. So the first move is Sanbonzuki. Sanbonzuki is 3 punches. So watch first. First is Jodan, 2 Chudan. And start again. Go, go. Ich. So when you do these 3 punches, make sure you don't go up and down in your stance and don't move your hips too much. Try to clench your buttocks, keep your stance down. And Sanbonzuki, ich. Next move is Gedanbarai, back stance. So to your right, you look to your right, prepare, Gedanbarai, back stance, ich. So from here, back stance, next move is Fudodachi Ayuki. So now you're learning to move from back stance to Fudodachi. So your feet stays put. Make sure you don't come up and down your stance, back stance, Fudodachi Ayuki. And this you're feeling your stance. How does Fudodachi feel like? So look at your front leg, make sure your knee is over your toes. Make sure your back foot, back leg is, you feel the tautness here. Make sure you push your back leg. So make sure it doesn't collapse down like that. Push backwards. Furodachi Ayuki. So when you have a strong Furodachi, you can, your next technique is strong. So you deliver Chudan, front Gyakuzuki. So you feel this. When this is strong, this powers the next move to a Gyakuzuki Chudan. Ich. And next move from here is MP Kivadachi. So prepare. So you're looking at front stance, going to MP Kivadachi. Ich. And next move from here is Yurakan back stance. Ich. So really feel your back stance, most of your weight on your back leg. Next move is you prepare, and it's the Fudodachi position. It's a prepare move. So this is a Shurito, front hand is pushing forward. This is preparing to do a Shuto. So from here, Furodachi, prepare, itch, and Shuto Uchi front stance, knee. And then from here, you go from here into a back stance, Shuto Uki, back stance, itch. And here, you move from this back stance to back stance the other way, Jodan, Shuto Uchi, Shuto Uki. And right hand forward. And I'll show you the other side. Sanmonzuki. Itch. Next move to your left, Gedarai back stance. So you want to make sure you keep this leg firm. So you don't move when you move from Kivadachi to back stance, you notice that this leg doesn't move. Itch. And now make sure both feet don't move your feet, and you're noticing that with just a movement, slight movement forward, you move your weight from your back foot to your front foot to go from back stance to Fudodachi. So from here, Ayuki Fudodachi, itch, Gyakuzuki Chudan, nin. MP Uchi Kivadachi, san, and you rock and back stance, ik, Fudodachi, prepare. So this is up, preparing to do a Shuto Uchi. This is forward, Shuto Uchi front stance. Then Shuto Uchi back stance, and Shuto Uchi, Jodan Shuto Uchi. Yummy. So the whole kata should look like this. Hey! Left side. Let's do it together. Sanbonzuki. Itch. Back stance, Gedanbarai. Knee. Fudodachi Ayuki. San. Gyakuzuki Chudan. Si. Empty Kivadachi. Go. Urakan back stance. It. Prepare Fudodachi. This is prepare position, Shuto Uchi front stance, san, Shuto Uchi, back stance, and Jodan, knife hand, back stance, the other way, center, Sanmonzuki, itch, left side, Genarai back stance, knee, Furodachi Ayuki, san, Judan, Gyakuzuki, si, MP Kivadachi, up, Urakan back stance, ip, then prepare Furodachi, preparing, this is Shurito, you're like pushing the opponent, this is preparing to a Shuto Uchi, and Shuto Uchi front stance. You notice that from here, you come up in your stance. So you're down, Furodachi, come up into front stance. Ip. Then, Shuto Uchi, back stance here. Make sure you focus on how your back stance feels like. And then you turn from this weight, transference to that, from your right side to your left side. Jodan Shuto Uchi. And center. And again, Sanbonzuki. Itch. Gedanbarai, back stance. Ip. So on this side, you're focusing on technique, on the stance. So the purpose of this is you really feel each stance, feel how it harnessing your power and flexibility. How does the back stance feel like, and the transitioning of the stance? How does it feel like from the back stance to Fudodachi? So back stance, Furodachi, just feeling your moving of your weight forward. Chudan Gyakuzuki, MP, Kivadachi. So from here, you want to go down your stance, MP, and when you rock and move back, weight in your back leg. Now this side, you're feeling more flowy movements from back stance to Furodachi and front stance. Ich, Shuto Uchi, back stance, and Shuto Uchi Jodan, back stance. Right side, Samonzuki, Ich. So, Gedanbarai, back stance, feel it, Ich. Feel that, Ich. Chudan, front stance, Ich. Kivadachi MP, Ich. So this side is more flowy. So is you ideally want to do it back stance, and you feel the move going from back stance, front stance to Kivadachi. Ich. Shuto Uchi, back stance here, Ich. The other side, Ich. And center, Yame. So just watch first. So what you want to do, start Kivadachi. This is Sanmozuki. So this side, you feel this dachi, each dachi. Feel each and every move of dachi. Feel this. Feel how it feels like. This, and then the other side is more flowy. So when you do Kivadachi, from Kivadachi MP, from there it's more flowy. Back stance, Furodachi, and front stance. So you can feel the transitioning of the move from back stance that flows into Furodachi and front stance. From here, then you go back to basic, Chudan, Shuzo Uchi, and Jodan. Back stance, center. Here, 3 punches. So this side is more basic, so you feel the stance, back stance. Really feel the move, really feel how the feet and the leg feels like. Furodachi, feel how it transitions. Chudan, front stance. Then when you do the MP, the other side, then it's more flowy. So you do Urakan, and that is more flowy. Then you go back into back stance here, back stance here, and center try. So all go into Kivadachi, Sanbonzuki, Ich, Gedanbarai, back stance, Ni, Fudodachi Ayuki, San, Chudan, Si, MP Kivadachi, go, Urakan, Ich, flow, Ni, San, Ich, center. The other side, Sanbonzuki, Ich, Ni, San, Si, go. So this side is more flow, remember, back stance, Ich, flow into Furodachi and front stance, Ich, Shuto Uchi, back stance, Ich, Jodan Shuto Uchi, back stance, Ich, center, Sanbonzuki, Ich, back stance, Ich, Fudodachi, Ich, Gyakuzuki, Ich, MP, Ich, Urakan back stance, Ich, flow, Ich, the other way. Right hand forward, left on the hip. Sanbonzuki. Ip. Back stance, get on right. Ip. 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 So this is more flowy. Back stance, you rock first. Ip. And flow into Furodachi. Shuto uchi front stance. Ip. Shuto uchi. Back stance. Ip. The other side. More Jodan. Ip. Yame. And loosen off. So you hope you all got that. Okay, so let's practice Dachi Kata again before we move on to the Carry Kata. Go down, so feel your Kivadachi. Back straight. Right hand forward, right, left hand forward, right hip-ite. Sanbonzuki, keeping your hips tight, keeping your buttocks tight. Ip, knee. So this really feel transition. Ip, san, ich, knee, san, si, go, center, ich, back stance, knee, Fudodachi, ip, Kivadachi, ip, you rock and back stance, ip, Shuto uchi, back stance, ip, and then feel, move from here, moving from this side to the other foot, the weight just moves into the other foot, ip, yame, inoi. So that's the Dachi Kata. The second bit that we're going to do today is loosen up a bit. Your hips, reverse. So next kata we're going to do is Carry Kata. So the first Dachi Kata is focusing on your stances. The aim of it is to practice your power, your flexibility. Because once you really work on the muscles on your stances, that helps with your kicking as well. And that also can help with explosive movements because you're working on your power and flexibility. But on a deeper level, it works on your mind. So in Dachi Kata, sometimes you can feel your feet burning, but the more it burns, the more you push, and the more you harness the spirit of Karate-do. Especially when you hit the wall, when the mind tells you that you can't, that's when you push even further to overcome that. So the next kata is Carry Kata, kicking kata. So it's a sequence of technique to practice the kick. So you start with Fudodachi. So Fudodachi stance is your feet is in L shape, your weight is in the center, so you feel yourself neutral. Feet in the center, your breath is down your hara. So the first move is Maigari. So you're moving your back leg facing 45 degrees and kick Maigari. Ich. And now you prepare, put your feet down, watch first, and then you do a Mawashigiri to the camera, to the front. Ich. Then you prepare, feet down, and do Yokogiri to the back of the room. Ich. And then place your foot such that you turn and do a back kick with your right leg. Ich. And Fudodachi to your right. So that's the kicking kata on the right side. On left side, we'll go like this. Left leg facing 45 degrees. Maigari. Ich. So you put your feet down in a preparatory position to prepare for your Mawashigiri. Ich. And then prepare for your Yokogiri. Ich. Feet down and kick back leg. Back kick. Fudodachi. So this Carry Katas can be practiced in lots of ways, where you can pause at different points. But now I'm just showing you the technique of it. So right leg, left kick, itch. And now prepare, so you go into marshigiri. From here, make sure you're practicing picking your knee up so that it's right up. So some people, when they do marshigiri, it starts from too low and kicks from too low, the knee's too low. Trying to take your knee up, ideally above your belt level, so you can twist on the ball of your foot and do a marashigiri. And the key thing is to remain stable after that. And if you're not stable, if you're hopping around, that is a sign to keep practicing this on one leg, so it builds the muscles of your leg to maintain stability. Then you prepare your feet position into yokogiri to the back of your leg, to the back of the room. Prepare and ushirogiri. No Fudodachi, so you repeat the same tenor cutter to your left side. Bring your left leg up, facing 45 degrees. Maigiri. Prepare, marshigiri. Keeping your leg up, keeping your... this is good practice as well. After you kick, you keep your knee up. You stay for a few seconds, and then you move down. Very controlled, very mindful into the prepare position for yokogiri. Yokogiri. And land and prepare for ushigiri. No Fudodachi. Hope you all got that. Right leg, maigiri. Stay for 1 second, down and immediately marashigiri. Stay for 1 second, down and yokogiri. Stay for 1 second, down and ushirogiri. And no Fudodachi. This side, maigiri. Still. Prepare, marashigiri. Still for 1 second, down, yokogiri, still, down, ushirogiri, still. So you're practicing the stillness between each technique. Maigiri, prepare, marashigiri front, still, yokogiri, prepare, ushirogiri, down, left maigiri, prepare, marashigiri, prepare, yokogiri, and ushirogiri. Maigiri. Front, marashigiri. Prepare, yokogiri to the back, and ushirogiri to the back. Maigiri, 45 degrees. Marashigiri to the front. Yokogiri, ushirogiri. And again, maigiri. Prepare, marashigiri. Focusing on lifting your knees, keeping that position, going down, focusing on your knee lift again on this one. Knee lift, deliver the yokogiri. Make sure if I turn, just maintain your kick to the back of the room. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see. So after marashigiri, you're preparing. Make sure you put your knee lift and yokogiri. Lock your hips so that this is your hips, if anything, slightly extended. Come back. Prepare ushirogiri. Fudodachi, left side, maigiri. Down, prepare to marashigiri. Stillness between the kicks, remember. Down, yokogiri to the back. And ushirogiri. Down. Now we're going to increase that speed. So you're going to do, Fudodachi, do a combination of maigiri, straight away down and marashigiri. Stop. Yokogiri, straight away down, ushirogiri, and back to Fudodachi. The other side, maigiri, down, straight to marashigiri, stop. Then yokogiri, straight down to ushirogiri. Then Fudodachi. Again, maigiri, straight down, marashigiri, stop. Yokogiri, straight down, Fushirogiri. Left side, Maigiri, straight, Moshigiri, stop. Yokogiri, straight, Fushirogiri. Now, and again, you're going to combine all of them. Try to flow through all of them. Maigiri, Moshigiri, Yokogiri, Fushirogiri. Flow, Maigiri, Moshigiri, Yokogiri, Fushirogiri. And again, Maigiri, Moshigiri, Yokogiri, Fushirogiri. Maigiri, Moshigiri, Yokogiri, Fushirogiri. Yame. Inoi, and relax. Just loosen your legs. So we hope you all got that. The first bit was the Dachi Cutter, which is one form of kata, focusing on the stance. The second was the carry cutter, looking at different kicks, looking at movements between the kicks, how we go from Maigiri and how we prepare from here. Lift if it is your knee lift, and kick and staying put. Prepare, knee lift, engaging the hips, staying put for a few seconds to train the muscles to stay on one leg. Prepare, Fushirogiri. And the same on the left side. Maigiri, stay. You're preparing Fushirogiri. Moshigiri, sorry. Yokogiri and Fushirogiri. Yame. So that's the carry cutter. So now, just loosen off first, and then we're going to do the tenor cutter, which should combine the two. If you've got any questions, then just pop it in the comments and I'll answer it later. Okay, let's do the tenor cutter. So the tenor cutter we're going to do will combine the Dachi cutter and the carry cutter together. So we start with Reno Judachi. So Reno Judachi is a neutral stance, L shape, the weight is in the center. And so the whole Dachi cutter, I'll show you first, the whole tenor cutter, sorry, will look like this. So that combines what we have practiced in Dachi Cutter and what we practice in the kicking cutter. It combines the two. So let's try Reno Judachi. So the first move is Ayuki Furodachi. So you keep your front leg still and move your back leg into a Fudodachi Ayuki. So like that. Itch. And so now remember that when you practice the Dachi Kata, you feel that your stance is solid, is deep. If your Fudodachi, your front knee is over your toes, your back leg is pushed outwards. So when you feel this deep, this will give power into your next punch. So from here you punch into a Chudan front stance. So if anything, you come up in your stance and feel the power in your punch. So from here, keep your hands still and do a Maigiri. And so this practices your balance as well. And when you do the kick, don't move your hand. Kick, Maigiri, stay put. And then put your feet together and move your left leg into a Furodachi. So circle this arm into Uchiyuki Furodachi. So after you do the kick, feet together, leg, this left leg goes into Furodachi, Uchiyuki. So now feel that stance. Make sure you do a checklist in your mind of Furodachi, Uchiyuki. Next move is your Jodan punch, sorry. Jodan front stance, itch. And then from there, keep everything still, keep your front leg still, keep your hands still, pick your leg up and do a yokogiri. So really focus on your balance, focus on your knee lift, slowly, Jodan. So yokogiri. And as soon as you put your feet down, do a shuso uki back stance, like what you did in your dachi kata, shuki back stance. So make sure you feel 75% of your weight on your back leg. Your front leg wants to feel a bit light, so you can, if you want to lift your leg and do a kick, you can. Is that kind of feeling. So like in your dachi kata, prepare to do a jodan, do a shuto uchi. So prepare shurito. So this pushes, it's as though it's pushing the opponent, and this prepare to do a knife hand block. So you're in a Furodachi position and deliver a Judan Shu. So knife hand, front stance. So keep your hands still and practice Mawashigiri without moving your hand. No Fudodachi on your left. So you just repeat the same on the left side. Ayuki, Fudodachi. It. Then Chudan, front stance. It. Keep everything still. Maigiri. It. Feet together. As your right leg goes back. Block. Uchiyuki. It. Then from here, so you feel this, you drive from down up. You drive from down up, which way you push your leg into a punch. It. And keeping your hands still, do a yokogiri. It. Leg down, shuto uchi. It. And you want to move your front leg to prepare into a knife hand. It. And keeping your hands still, Mawashigiri. It. And again, Reno Judachi, Ayuki Fudodachi. And Gyakuzuki Chudan. Now try to do this in one count. Maigiri, feet down, Uchiyuki Fudodachi. It. And then deliver, punch. It. Try to do this in one count. Do yokogiri. As soon as you put your feet together, back stance, knife hand. It. Prepare. So from here, and transition the stance to Fudodachi, Fudodachi, and knife hand coming up. It. Keep your hands still. Mawashigiri. It. Ayuki Fudodachi. It. It. So Maigiri, you're going to try to do it in one count. Maigiri, feet together. Judan Uchiyuki. It. Then from here, drive from down up. Deliver. Jodan Zuki. It. Keep your hands still. Yokogiri, feet down into back stance. It. And move your front leg into Furodachi. Push the opponent. This is preparing to do a knife hand strike. It. Keeping your hands still. Mawashigiri. It. And again. So we're going to do it in a combination. So the first count is itch. Next is kick, feet down. Itch. Next is Jodan, punch, kick, down, knife hand block, itch, Furodachi, Jodan Shuto, itch, keeping your hands still, Mawashigiri, itch, and down, and the other side. So you want to do your Ayuki and punch at the same count, itch, kick and block, itch, punch, kick and block. So punch, kick and block, itch. Knife hand, block, itch. Marshigiri, yeah, itch. Down. And again, this side, block and punch, itch. Next hand is kick and block. Maigeri, Uchuki, itch. Next count is Jodan, Yokogeri, down, Shuto Uchi, ik, back stance. Prepare, Shuto Uchi, Maoshigeri, ik, and down. The other side, Ayuki, Fudodachi, and punch. Ik, kick, feet together, Judan Uchuki, ik. Now, deliver, Jodan punch, Yokogeri, feet together, block, Shuto Uki in back stance, itch. Knife hand, yeah, Marshigeri, ik. And this side again, Ayuki, punch, itch. Kick, punch, itch. Then you want to punch, kick, and block, it. Move your front leg into Furodachi, prepare into a Jodan knife hand, front stance, it. And keep all your hands still and do a Mawashigiri. Yeah, it. And down. The other side, Ayuki, Fudodachi, and punch, itch. And you want to keep everything still. Try to lift your knee up to do a Maigeri. Still, feet together. And Uchuki, Fudodachi, itch. Punch. Feel that punch stands firm. Lift the knee up, do your Geri. Feet together. Back. Itch. Fudodachi, prepare, knife hand, itch. And yai, it. And yummy. And relax. So that's the Tenor Cutter. Hope you got that sequence. So that Tenor Cutter just combines the two. It's a good practice with combining your attacks and your punches and your kicks in a Tenor Cutter, which is we call it a universal kata, which combines a kick, a punch, and attack, which helps you practice all that within a small space. So I'm going to run through to summarize. Dachi Kata. This is how it should look like. Dachi Kata. So that's your Dachi Kata. And then your kicking kata. Sereno Judachi. Carry. Shigari. Yeah. So that's your kicking kata, which has Maigeri, Marshigari, Yokogeri, and Ushigari. And you combine the two into a Tenor Cutter, which looks like this. Tenor Judachi, Hey! Hey! Yummy. So I hope it gives you a flavor. I find it quite difficult to see if people are getting it or not from Facebook Live. But if there's any questions or anything afterwards, you can ask us. Just pop in the comments and answer later. But hope you enjoyed that. Us. So I like to finish the session with mokuzo. So Sensei Rick Jackson often describes training as the martial way as two parts of the wheel. Training helps with the aim of our muscle memory, helps build our body in terms of getting our technique right, to delivering the karate. But training of our mind with meditation is as important to move forward. It helps harness the clarity of our minds, helps us in our life and our karate. So I like to spend a few minutes in mokuzo. Grits. Left leg, right leg. And just feel your posture first of all. Eyes half closed. Make sure your back is straight, your chin tucked in. Feel your posture. Mokuzo. Feel your breath. Mokuzo Yame. So the first bow is to thank all the teachers around us, before us, Sensei Yurei. And second is to our dojo space, Dojo Yurei. Crits. Us. Thank you.